Welcome to the Leadership TKO podcast, your source of strategies and insight to make you a winning leader. With no further ado, here is your host, Lakeisha McKnight.
All right. Well, hello. Lakeisha McKnight is indeed here. Welcome to the Leadership TKO, the night show via podcast. It is indeed 9:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this lovely December 23rd, 2017. So thank you so much for stopping by, being a part of what we have going on, whether you're going to be here live or you're going to listen to the replay. Many of you may be with your families and your friends at this particular time, but I said I still wanted to be committed and wanted to follow through with going live on the podcast. So what I am going to do is share on my wall, let people know that I am indeed live. So I'm going to go to my Facebook wall and invite people to listen in. So I'll invite people from the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and type in join me now as I am live for a brief moment sharing this special. Here we go. Special message. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to share it on my timeline first, my personal timeline. And then I'm going to go ahead and share on my fan page. Okay. And this is my personal fan page that I'm going to be sharing on. So just give me a moment. Okay. And we're predominantly going to be here on the podcast platform on Spreaker. We're not going to be doing the audio live on my fan page tonight. So just on Spreaker, this is where we are for tonight. Just in case those of you are wondering, are you going to be on the fan page? No, we're not going to do that tonight. Okay. So we just shared in a few places, specifically on Facebook. But I just want to say on behalf of the iLead Company team, thank you. And we wish you a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you listening in to this very special episode on tonight. Now, if you're new to this particular show, the night show here, Leadership TKO Night Show, this night show is one of two podcasts that's on the Leadership TKO internet radio station that is also connected to iHeartRadio. The internet radio station is one of many subdivisions, a part of the Leadership TKO brand. There's also Leadership TKO for authors, Leadership TKO for speakers, and a few others. The whole purpose of the Leadership TKO brand is to partner up with associations, with universities, small businesses or entrepreneurs, faith-based groups, as well as Fortune 500 companies. And you'll see the reason why we say this, because things are beginning to shift and change. We're beginning to expand in bigger ways. And so we do this so that we can build winning leaders. So not just ordinary leaders, those leaders who just occupy positions in organizations to call themselves leaders. We're talking about those leaders who build themselves up from the inside out, who are strong in character from the inside out. Most importantly, those leaders who follow God from the private to the public. Can we just put it out there like that? Well, that's the type of leaders that we build here with Leadership TKO brand. Now, this brand is legally protected by an LLC by the name of the iLead Company, or the International Leadership Education and Development Company, iLead, right? And the mission of iLead is to enhance the leadership potential of all humanity, but we know that we specifically target entrepreneurial women. These are women who have a desire to work from home or start their own business, or maybe in business already, but they're looking to grow it. And so that's what we do specifically here with iLead. So we appreciate you. We thank you. And if you want to learn more about the brand, as well as the overall company iLead, there's two websites I'm going to share with you. iLead's website is ileadcompany.com. So that's ileadcompany.com. And then we also have a separate website for the brand that really expounds on our services and products we offer. And that's leadershiptko.com. That's the website address for that one. So when we're here on the Spreaker platform, let me let you know two things. Number one, you can hit the heart button next to the title of the episode to let us know that you hear us clearly or that you've enjoyed what you've heard. And then number two, there's also a chat feature. So if you're live and you want to say, hey, Lakeisha, I'm here, or you have a question or a comment, you'll be able to leave that right here live while I'm here and I can interact with you. So I just wanted to share that with you. And if at any point you feel encouraged or led to share the episode, please go ahead and do so. You can share it on social media platforms and you can copy the link and paste it wherever you would like it to be. Okay. I will let you know that this night show is live normally Sundays through Fridays at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But just in case you're wondering about that second podcast I was telling you about, that second podcast that airs a part of this station, it's called Revitalize the Total Woman Podcast. It's a podcast connected to a nonprofit that's also in Chesapeake, Virginia. And it's Women of Elevation Career Services International. That's the name of the nonprofit. And that one airs every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I just wanted to share that. And if you want to learn more about that podcast, you'll want to go to womenofelevation.com. All right. So I just wanted to share that. So if you wanted to take note of it, you can. Now, the special episode title, as you can see, because Christmas Eve is tomorrow, right? And so we're just talking a little bit about, building each other up, understanding the meaning of Christ Mass. Okay, most people say Christmas. Some people think that Jesus was born around this time, but technically speaking, no, he's not actually born around this time. This is a time where pagans celebrate the birth, they're recognizing the birth of Christ, but it's not necessarily his birthday. Okay, so let me share with you this other thing too, just breaking down the word Christ Miss or Christ Mass. Christ in the world, mass, more, spreading, big, globally, massively, Christ in the world. That's the reason for the season. I talk a lot about gifts, and I spoke a little bit about gifts on my timeline on Facebook. And if we're not connected on Facebook, feel free to send a friend request. And that's facebook.com/L McKnight Speaks. That's how we can connect on my personal profile. Okay. But I've talked a little bit about that. I've asked about the gift of salvation. When did people accept the gift? Why is it considered a gift? Why is salvation considered a gift? And so many people gave their answers and they're right on the money regarding the reason why it's a gift. It's a gift because it's not something that we can work for. It's not something we can go out there and say, you know what, we've earned it, we deserve it. It's a opportunity to believe in the finished work of Christ because it's something that God did because he loved us in sending his son into the earth. That's why Christ Mass, Christ in the world. He was sent in the world to bring us, to bridge us back to God because we were separated because of the fall of man or sin. He was sent into the world. So when we actively, by faith, place our faith in that work that Jesus did, guess what? We can be reunited with the Heavenly Father because of his grace, because he willingly loved us. He loved us so much that he allowed us to be reconnected because of faith, the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things that we can't see. We weren't there when Christ was in the earth. We weren't there when he was born and when he was reared as a young boy. We weren't there when he had to go into the wilderness and be tested. We were not there when he was baptized by John the Baptist. We were not there when he called specific disciples unto himself within the inner circle that began to be the cornerstone, the foundation of the church. We were not there when all of the men and women were called unto him by crowds. We were not there, but by faith, we can believe. By faith, we are saved. By faith, we can receive the gift of salvation. It's not anything that we earn. It's not anything that we've done. We can never earn salvation. There's no amount of work we can do, but humbly accept Jesus to guide us, direct us, lead us, give us the words, help us to learn more about God. Because he was the example when he was in the earth. He's a gift, the perfect gift, the perfect gift that only had to be given one time. He's the reason for the season. He's the reason for the season. So on behalf of the iLead Company, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Merry Christmas. And I want to tell you that we're definitely going to be back here tomorrow. We may be playing some Christmas songs during a certain portion of the day going into the 25th, which will be, of course, actually, better yet, my bad. It is Christmas Eve. What am I thinking about, guys? No one probably is going to correct me, but it is Christmas Eve. Let me take that back. I said tomorrow is going to be Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve tonight. Tomorrow is Christmas. It is the 24th, December 24th, everyone. All right. Correction on my part. And tomorrow is Christmas Day. And we'll be playing songs, Christmas songs throughout the day tomorrow. Because we just enjoy celebrating Jesus. It's celebrating him every day, but the season, and everybody's just thinking about them. And we encourage everyone to continue to think about him. All right. So we appreciate you. We thank you so very much, each and every one of you. And we will be back on tomorrow. OK, throughout the day, but most importantly at 9:00 p.m. So until then, I do encourage each and every one of you to do one specific thing. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to share with you what I would love for you to do. But I do remember, and God just brought this to my remembrance, that I was going to share with you a little bit of a shift and a change in the structuring of the podcast. Thank you, Father. He helped me to remember. What we're going to be doing, because of certain topics that's really in demand from those of you who are connected to the brand. The topics are speaking, book writing, and fitness. These are some of the topics that are in demand from those of you who are connected. And so we're dedicating the first 3 months of 2018 to speakers. Okay, we're looking to build you up in a major way. So therefore, a lot of what we're doing with the podcast is going to shift. It's going to focus on speakers the first 3 months. So what we're looking at, okay, we're looking at Sunday as still being the Spirit Man Building Sunday. We're looking at Monday to really focusing in on a few special things. Okay. Now we know that some of you still need to manage money and your wealth, but we're going to talk about how you really can make money. We're going to shift it just a little bit. We're going to talk about how you build wealth through speaking. That's what we're going to talk about on Mondays. Tuesdays. Okay. We're going to shift it just a little bit. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We're going to talk heavily about speaking. Okay, the character of speakers. We're going to talk about, the marketing of speakers, all that stuff on those 3 days. And then on Friday, we're still sticking with fitness, baby. We're still sharing with you how, you really need to keep your body up, keep your health up in order to really have that opportunity to go out there and speak. And so that's how we're breaking up these days and going to focus in on speakers as 2018 rolls in. Okay, so that's a little bit of the shift. We're going to give you the specific layout as we start the new year. So you'll know what topics we're going to cover. Okay, we will give you a heads up starting, I believe, next Sunday. You'll get the exact layout as far as the exact topics that will be covered Sunday through Friday. But I just want to give you a little bit of a snapshot of the shift that's going to be occurring with the podcast. Okay. So clarity, specific topics and such will be announced on this coming Sunday, which will be New Year's Eve. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. And I know around that time, some of you like to go to night watch service and you may be heading there. So there may not be too many of you on the podcast live. We may even bring it closer and closer to when we actually go into the new year. So we may go into the new year together live on the podcast platform. So we're looking to potentially do that. So we'll give you a heads up as to whether we're going to go forward with that. But thank you so very much for being here. Appreciate you dearly. Love each and every one of you. And remember, until we come together again tomorrow night, I encourage you to think, to speak, and to live leadership.
Thanks for listening to the Leadership TKO podcast. To continue the conversation, of how to take your leadership from good to great, visit www.leadershiptkO.com.